So welcome everybody to the Spikeview panel discussion. I'm super excited. My name's Jimmy. I'm a senior in high school and I'm a brand ambassador for Spikeview. I'm gonna quickly go around and introduce everyone, starting with Aga. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Aga, currently located in London, and I'm a second-year economics student at university here.
Sweet. Tanush, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, my name is Tanush, and I'm located in UAE or Abu Dhabi, and I am currently a high school student in year 12.
Awesome. Shreya, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Shreya, and I'm currently a senior in high school. I live in California.
Awesome. And Kritik?
Yeah, hi, my name is Kritik. I'm currently a freshman in high school and I live in New Jersey.
Awesome. So we kind of have this wide array and various backgrounds and experiences. Yeah, it's crazy. We have people from all around the world, and I just want to get to know all of your guys' views on Spikeview and kind of how it works into how it applies to high school students and even beyond. So I just want to start with Critic. Introduce us. What is a Spikeview and why is it so powerful compared to things like a resume and or other alternatives?
Yeah, of course. So a spike view is essentially like a little spider chart that'll be featured on your spike view profile. And we could even link an image somewhere on the screen in post-production, where it's essentially like a spider chart where you can kind of gauge where your interests lie and see what your spikes are. So, and a spike view is much more powerful and impactful than your standard resume or other alternatives because unlike resumes want you to think, we're all human and we're not just a list of experiences on a piece of paper, unlike what resumes want you to think. And that's where SpikeView comes in, because SpikeView allows you to see your whole holistic self and allows you to really tailor your SpikeView chart so that you can see how all your accolades, all your experiences and accomplishments kind of paint the picture of who you are and your unified profile. So that would be really helpful when applying to colleges, high school programs, or beyond.
So, when you talk about putting down all of your accomplishments and stuff, why is Spikeview? Why is Spikeview compared to sort of like a resume? What's so bad about a resume, and what are the problems with that kind of compared to something like a Spikeview?
Yeah, so a resume doesn't show your whole holistic self. It doesn't unify all your accomplishments and kind of humanize them. Instead, it's just a list of experiences. And that's not what, as humans, we are. We need to really paint the picture on our holistic self and unify everything. And SpikeView helps us do that and humanize our experiences and accomplishments so that we can see our spikes and see our interests and unify everything so that it's all just in one place and and yeah, it's all unified and together.
Yeah, and I think I totally agree with Critic on a lot of points that you brought up. And I also think, it's little things that we do every day. So say you play volleyball, right? Or you really enjoy surfing. Is that something your potential resume would include? I wouldn't potentially put that, right? And it's just one page. How much does it actually say about you? And, someone reading it, I feel like they don't really know your story. They know what kind of subjects you did. They know what kind of school you went to, but they don't know what kind of person you are, what you really care about. Because I feel like school is it is a big part of what you do every day, but at the same time, how important is it really? You only spend, you only spend a couple of hours there, right? There's so much other things you're doing every single day that you just don't include on your resume, right? Even if you're talking about school, how many societies can you actually mention on the piece of paper? How many things that you've done for your friends? How many times have you been a caring friend? How many times have you helped someone out? How many times you had a great debate with someone? No one would know that if they just saw your resume. They only know a really small chunk of who you are, and even that is very questionable how relatable that is and how true that is, right? So I completely agree with Critic. I think resumes are definitely outdated.
Does anyone else have anything to say on that topic?
Yeah, so I couldn't agree more with Aga and Kritik, but I really just want to emphasize how incredible it is to put in accomplishments and experiences and visually see where your strengths lie and what you're like doing super well in. And, and then you can use that to gear yourself in the future when it comes to college applications or whatever you might do in the future, which is so amazing to have.
Yeah, could you elaborate on the kind of college application process? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the essay building, but how might a spike view help with, writing those essays out, writing those personal statements and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. So I just went through the college application process, and I can positively and confidently say that having it organized on SpikeView, all my accomplishments, all my experiences, makes it so much easier during the application process. So a big part of the college application process is reporting your extracurricular activities and providing a description. And you want to make sure you really communicate everything that you've done so that the counselors or whoever's reading it, your application, can really get to know the whole you. And so if you keep track of everything on spikeview, you already have your descriptions written, you have your list of activities, accomplishments, experiences, and it's so easy to just take that information and put it into the application. Regarding the essays, just knowing what your strengths are and what you've done the most, and just seeing all that makes it so much easier to decide what to write about, to come up with points, just to recall what it was actually like, because you can physically see it on your spike view. So it just makes the whole process, I think, easier, and it's something that really helped me.
Yeah. You talk about a profile and all these features on SpikeView. I just want to bring in Tanush. What are kind of the core values to the student of, a SpikeView, and what are some like features on SpikeView that are really important to start building this narrative that we're talking about?
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, so something about Spikeways stands out a lot, because I am a high school student and, always looking way to get ahead of that really competitive, sort of society or the community that we're around, and to get that edge over others, especially, just to boost your university or college application. I think a platform like Spikeview really it's very impactful, and it really helps you with the just like what Kritik, Aga, or Shreya said. It's about that keeping it simple but precise, but also keeping a clean view of everything that you have, like that you can showcase about yourself, and not just about what you're doing like academically, but also the extracurriculars, that they do matter a lot, and it's very significant to show your whole self and not just one side of you. And Spikeview makes sure that it shows the complete view of you, and make sure that your story is also heard, and not just what you do is what you are. So it's just entire and complete view of who you are. So to come to the sort of features and breaking it down into how SpikeView is really built is the profile. So it impressively organizes all your experiences and accomplishments, and then it gives you a spike graph, like Kritik mentioned earlier. And this graph essentially allows you to see where your strengths lie and where your weaknesses lie. So it shows you spikes in where you're really good at, and not so spiky in some places where you could improve on and maybe add more towards. And what this allows you to do is be distinct, and allows you to differentiate from the crowd there is now. Because often than not, people might just do football, and they keep doing football, but they don't realize that they could be doing more of community service, and they could add more towards that side, right? So we want the whole view of yourself, and to show universities or colleges just how diverse and distinct you can be with spike view, and that spike feature, which is very significant and I've found really useful myself. It's really helped me make a very strong, a very well organized and a stunning profile. And what spikeview does, it's a strong platform where it takes all your whatever you're feeding it, like with your achievements, accomplishments, and whatever you've been involved in. It organizes all of that into an eye-catching portfolio that you can just present yourself in different views, like a presentation view or a linear view. And this is again according to your preference, and this can allow you to outweigh the majority and help you stand out. Then coming to the feed page, and now the feed page is filled with lots of information, and just sorts of things that can help you keep updated of the very moving and the fast paced world around you. And that can really help you stay up to date, every now and then, and it can broaden your perspective on new things, and you can also engage with other like-minded people, and see what they're doing, just like a normal feed. And then I think there's also the connections. You can make new connections with like-minded people, and because spikeview is very intelligent and strong, it looks at your interests, your similarities between other people. And then if you go to the connections page, you can just click discover, and then you can see like-minded people around you that you can connect with, and essentially just allows you to collaborate and make new connections. And who knows when you might need these connections to rely on the contacts for your future, or for any opportunity, just in general. And I think one of the best features about this is the plethora of opportunities and experiences that's just there waiting for you. Few simple steps, you're in the platform. No third party application, no extra application writing, just fill in your spikeview profile, and you can just apply to these opportunities in the opportunities tab. And you have so many different opportunities, like advisors, you have volunteering, you also have internships, other internships that you can apply for, just by sharing your profile. And it's really easy. And you can get access to these opportunities, just invaluable opportunities, for absolutely no cost. It's just the time that you put in, and you can add so much more to your profile. And also the groups, you create a lot of groups, and you can contribute with the community around you. And it's just about you being passionate about yourself, and just showing and honing your mentorship skills, pretty much. And spikeview does all of this in one platform, and it's really useful for students, especially like me, as I'm yet to enter the application process. But like Shreya said, uh, such things, it can really help you ease out the time and the stress that you might have to go through. And yeah, that's about what I have noticed and my experience so far with spikeview with regards to the features. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think, Tanush, I think you've brought up some really, really valid points. And I think taking that a step further, from the perspective of a university student, I think some of those things not only help you with getting into university, but actually sort of shaping your way through it, right? So at university, you do need to make a lot of decisions. What kind of modules do you want to take? What kind of subjects do you want to take? What kind of societies do you want to join? Who do you want to be, involved in? What kind of groups do you want to be involved in? Who do you want to live with? Even things like that. And honestly, I think looking at a spike view chart, you see, okay, that person looks like they're very caring, like they have incredible leadership skills. They're great at team working. And whether that's about, setting up your own company and deciding who you want to take on board, or a club society, and or like I said, living with someone in the same university hall or renting an apartment, I think all of those things are very, very important, and none of them are represented right now on either LinkedIn or your traditional resume or any other platform, really. So spikeview is unique in a sense that it gives you an easy to use solution for free right here, right there, that you can use globally and from anywhere in the world, anytime you want. And it provides you with all those cool features that none of the other platforms do.
Yeah, 100%. And when we talk about other apps, LinkedIn, Instagram, that kind of focus on building who you are and your personality. Shreya, could you kind of elaborate on where spikeview stands on how it coexists with other social media apps?
Yeah, so spikeview is like a LinkedIn for teens. And, being a senior in high school, I have used so many social media platforms throughout my high school journey. But I can confidently say spikeview is different from like your typical social media in that it's more purpose driven, just beyond allowing you to connect with others, which is similar to what social media essentially does. On spikeview, you also have just direct access and direct access to legitimate opportunities, scholarships, internships, etc. And on spikeview, you can create your portfolio, which we've been talking about, which showcases your accomplishments, experiences, which is different from what a student profile might look like on social media, which, because on social media, people are just posting about fun stuff or like pictures with friends and things like that. That's what it tends to be focused around. Additionally, on a slightly different note, social media tends to stand as something people use when they're taking a break from work or when relaxing or just to unwind. It can also kind of be a distraction for students and things like that. But with spikeview, that's not something you would use as a distraction. Again, it drives professional networking, helps in preparing for the future, like college application process, and it has opportunities that students can take to stand out or explore their interests, whether it be like career oriented or related to passions. So it really is different from social media, and I just think it serves a completely different purpose.
Yeah, and to also add on to the points that Shreya mentioned, I think that SpikeView has built its own niche in the social media world because unlike other social medias, SpikeView has managed to be both fun and purposeful at the same time. So you have the appealing features of other social media platforms, like creating your own profile, or we recently implemented a gamification point system where users could be incentivized to engage more with the app by earning points. And we have that appealing features of other social media apps, as well as that purposeful aspect of connecting with other like-minded individuals and finding opportunities and groups that align with your interests. And also, as mentioned before, creating your own spike chart and seeing a holistic view of yourself and your experiences and accomplishments. So I think that unlike other social medias, it's managed to be both fun and purposeful. And for that reason, it has created its own niche and kind of coexists with other social media apps.
Yeah, we talk about social media, and I've obviously spent way too many hours on YouTube watching pointless videos, so it's good to know that I can spend my time in a more useful way on SpikeView. But when we go to different apps like Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, there's this big problem with privacy and the fact that your data is being taken. And you see Facebook got in trouble with this a couple of years back, but there's this huge problem with privacy. How does it work on SpikeView? How does sure, if you could elaborate on the privacy on SpikeView and how that works there?
Yeah, so I totally agree. Like a big worry on a variety of platforms is just safety and data privacy. What is so great about SpikeView is it takes privacy very seriously, which is so important. On SpikeView, all your information stays solely with you. People who are on the platform have total control over what they want to share and with whom they want to share it, which is really good. It feels great to be in control, like in the driver's seat of your data, which is so important. And so you can really trust your data is safe on the SpikeView platform, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think another thing as well in terms of data, I think we just need to care a bit more about it, right? We need to actually care about what's happening with our pictures, what's happening with our likes. So how can it be that, platforms like Facebook or Instagram can, sort of give us those ads that are so tailored into what we were looking for a couple hours ago, right? So it's just a very worrying thing from the student standpoint that all those apps collect so many information about us, where we eat, where we were, if you put a tag, say you're in New York, they know you're in New York. All of this information is sorted, right? So the sort of places you eat, the people you meet, I think it's quite worrying. And I think we really need to start caring about what's happening with our data, who is it being shared with. And I think SpikeView handles that really good by giving you full control of your data. And it is only you who can then decide to say, okay, I want to share my profile with a that specific person or that college recruiter or my parents, right? But it is you who make that decisions. And I feel like that's something that a lot of social media platforms are yet to sort of explore and really take advantage of, because it is very important and we do need to care about this, because if we don't care about this, then they won't care either, right? So I think it's really important to be very conscious about this and how important it is to have that full control of the data, like Shreya said, that SpikeView does offer to its users.
Yeah, I think it's super important as well. When you talk about how far these companies are going to not only personalize what happens on the interface, but how much data they're actually collecting behind the scenes, it's very concerning. And they've been pushing the line and farther and farther in terms of how much data they are actually collecting on the user, and it's very worrying, especially with algorithms and how smart they are nowadays. I mean, you can spend like 20 minutes on TikTok and they know pretty much everything about you. It's
Honestly.
it's crazy. It's crazy. But I think it goes to show that SpikeView is kind of the epitome of what privacy should be, and it's what other companies should adopt, and what we should work for kind of as a social media community, that we need to start valuing privacy in a more serious way before it goes too far, and we're selling ourselves short in terms of our own data. So that's a very, very good point, Shrey and Aga. Thanks for bringing that up. I just want to go ahead and kind of bounce off to another point. And we were talking about high school and the college application process, but Aga, what happens when you finally get to college? I mean, Spikeview, does it just end
A lot
there?
of things happen. Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. So I think, again, Spikeview is the sort of platform that's not only there for you when you're in high school. It is the sort of platform that has a lot of use to you once you graduate, once you go to college, right? I think that's when really it proves to be equally powerful, if not more. Just because I think, it comes to a point where you realize, oh gosh, I'm studying all these cool things, but I don't know what I want to do in the future. People are asking all these crazy big questions, like, who do you want to be? Where do you want to go, right? Big questions being asked, and you don't know what to do. And I think that's when you realize, okay, I need to really sit down and think, what do I like? What do I not like? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Because all those things help you evaluate what kind of professional career would you like to kickstart? So what kind of internships would you like to look for? What kind of scholarships might be of use to you? What kind of worldwide opportunities you might want to explore that would be really beneficial to you? And I think that's where Spike becomes, not only because it allows you to really organize all of this, right? It's an easy to use platform. You put all your achievements, it does it for you. You have this cool Spikeview web chart that's made just for you. It's individual, it's unique, it's you, And I think that's really cool. But at the same time, it simultaneously allows you to do that, to take that profile you've just created, that portfolio, and then directly apply for all those cool opportunities, internships, scholarships, work experiences, and all of those obviously being available globally. I think that's phenomenal, and that's something really unique on a worldwide scale. And at the same time, going through internship applications, a lot of people are just being really sad because the process is so daunting. It's so time consuming to look for every single one of those companies to see if you fulfill their requirements. And you can't be bothered. You don't have the time, you don't have the effort. And then, there you go. There's Spikeview just for you, There you go. You create your profile once, you don't need to do anything else. It's as easy as that, right? So I think that's really, really important to bear in mind that things are easy when you're in Spikeview. Things are really easy and really out there for you. I think Tanner's bring that up, that it is a highly intelligent platform. And not only that, it allows you to sort of really just click apply with my profile and that's it. That's as hard as it gets, right? For applying to those internships. But at the same time, it does bring those opportunities closer to you. So if you go to your feed, you'll see certain opportunities that align with your interests, with your strengths, with your weaknesses, that will help you, take the best out of what you can get, really fulfill your potential. And I think that's a really, really incredible thing about thinking, thinking college, thinking a sort of about a long-term vision of who you want to be. Where do you see yourself in 10 years time? And I think that's something that's still very rare in social media. Social media in general, I think it's very filtered. When you look for Instagram, when you scroll for Instagram, you see all those happy, beautiful, pink, almost pictures, right? Perfect lives, almost. So you look for LinkedIn, you see all those CEOs announcing they've just launched a new venture or secured 10 billion pounds or what's so not of funding, and you just feel a bit behind. And I think that's a very toxic place to be in when you start comparing yourself to those people, because those things aren't real, right? Those lives aren't real. People have problems. Everyone has problems. But I think Spikeview is a great place because it allows you to still have access to all those great opportunities without that notion of being toxic, without comparing yourself to people, without feeling like you're not doing enough or you are not enough. And that's not true, right? And I think that's a really, really cool thing about Spikeview. It does really care about who you are as a person and helps you find unique opportunities for you. Not for your friends, not for your parents, not for your siblings or your college pods, but really for you. And I think that's something really, really cool.
Yeah, and I just want to draw upon the point where you're talking about, okay, who are you? That's the entire point, and that's the question that we have to ask ourselves and we have to eventually answer. And what's interesting is I got the opportunity to talk with this MIT interviewer who sits down with applicants for MIT, and talks to them, which is interesting because these are pretty much like the top students in the US and pretty much the world that are applying to this college. And the one question that he asked them is, who are you? Which is kind of a weird sort of like really big question. And I think
Yeah.
he said that basically it doesn't really matter what your accomplishments are if you aren't able to tell a story about it. If you're not able to incorporate it within your own narrative, it's basically useless. That's where he said that spikeview kind of comes in, and it kind of answers that question for you. You know, if you're able to put down your accomplishments in this very succinct, very organized manner, you're able to answer that question with ease, and you're able to not only answer it, but answer with passion and conviction because you know who you are and where you stand, and not only now, but all you said in the future. You talk about a 10-year, where are you going to be? And I think, you know, it's a great benefit. And he was talking about that it's something that needs to be adopted by, you know, not only high school students, but anyone that wants to, you know, not only tell their story, but kind of brand themselves and, you know, create their own personal narrative. So, I mean, that's super cool that, you know, I got the opportunity to talk with him about that. But I think it's a very important point to bring up that we need to more focus on, you know, building this narrative and, you know, who we are as students and who we are as college students and who we are as just people in general. Does anyone else have to say anything about spikeview in general, or?
I think there's just one more thing. I think you mentioned some really, really great points about how important it is to know who you are, or, you know, sort of create your own story and then sort of own that narrative and take it a step further. And I think it's equally important later on when you think about your potential employers, right? So it's not only from the college recruiter standpoint, but if you think about a potential employer, they're going to be asking you basically the same questions, right? So whether you're 17, 18, or 22, you'll continuously be asked what kind of person you are, what kind of person do you want to be, where do you see yourself in 5 years time, right? And I think even then when you're starting to apply for your first jobs, right, you're starting to kickstart your professional career, those questions will be popping out. And the sooner you start thinking about it, the sooner you start organizing yourself, the easier it's going to be for you. And I think we also mentioned the power of networking here, and I think that's again something super important. And it personally helped me a lot with building my own connections network, has taken me to some places I never thought I would have an opportunity to collaborate with certain organizations, to work for certain people. And I think the sooner students start realizing what is the true power of networking, the better. And I think Spikeview, again, is the perfect place to do it without any limitations, without feeling you're in this toxic group of people. You find like-minded people, you connect, you work on some cool projects, and you make impossible possible, right? Because sky isn't the limit. After all, honestly, when you go to college, sky is not the limit, right? You need to aim bigger. I think we need to really be more ambitious in our lives sometimes. And in that sense, I think Spikeview is really out there to push you to get out of your comfort zone, you know, to really reach for those stars, to take the most out of the opportunities that are presented to you, to own your narrative and create the story you want to share with people.
Awesome. I think you just hit the nail on the head right there. I just want to thank all of you for, you know, being on this panel. I think a lot of great points were brought up, and I seriously hope that everyone watching considers downloading Spikeview. It's a great app, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.